Welcome to Intentional Thought, the podcast where we dive deep into the fascinating realms of UFOs, space exploration, and pop culture. Today we're embarking on an exciting journey through the mysteries of the universe and how they intersect with our favorite movies, shows, and books. Let's kick things off with UFOs. Over the past few decades, these unidentified flying objects have sparked endless debates and theories. Recent revelations from government reports have fueled public interest, bringing new credibility to what many have always believed. Whether you consider them extraterrestrial visitors or advanced military technology, UFOs continue to captivate imaginations and provoke curiosity. Now, let's shift our focus to the cosmos. Space exploration has become more prominent than ever, with NASA and private companies like SpaceX pushing the boundaries of what we can achieve. From the Mars rovers to the Artemis missions aimed at returning humans to the moon, the quest for knowledge about our universe is more thrilling than ever. Each discovery not only enhances our understanding of space, but also influences how we tell stories about it in pop culture. Speaking of pop culture, let's not forget how sci-fi movies, TV shows, and literature shape our perceptions of extraterrestrial life in space. Classics like Star Wars and The X-Files have profoundly impacted our collective imagination, setting a tone for future explorations both in the sky and on screen. The interplay between reality and fiction invites us to question what's possible in our universe. So join us on this exploration of UFOs, space, and pop culture, where curiosity meets creativity, inspiring you to think intentionally about the world around you.
Yo. So, I would like to welcome you to Intentional Podcast. So I wrote on Facebook one day that I wanted to be on somebody's podcast, and I really just was trying to go on to someone's podcast. And under the post, everybody was like, "Man, you should do a podcast, man. You should do a podcast." I'm like, I really wasn't trying to start a podcast. But fuck it, man. Hey, if this is what y'all want, man, we gonna give it to y'all. So let's start off with some good vibes, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna start off right. We're gonna start off with some good old vibes, man. You know what I'm saying? You know we gonna start off right. Yeah.
Ain't got no home. Ain't got no shoes.
Yeah. You know, we gonna start it off right. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get vibey in here first. Y'all trying to get vibey in here, man? We gonna talk about some real shit today. We ain't just gonna play around. We gonna start it off right. You know what I'm saying? So let me turn this down. Let me turn this down a little bit. We gonna turn it down just a little bit. So yeah, I want to welcome y'all to Intentional Thought, the podcast where every topic gets the spotlight, from breaking news and pop culture to the mysteries of aliens and UFOs, relationships, black empowerment, and everything else under the sun. We're going to dive deep like whale vagina. This is where intentionality meets curiosity, and no thought is too big or too bold. So sit back, tap in, and let's explore one intentional thought at a time. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. As I sit my fifth, feel like Ray J. If I had one wish, it'd be 4 words. Get off my dick. Yeah. Okay. Look, you're not in my bracket. Look, you're not in my bracket. Look, you're not in. Okay, so let's start it off, man. Today we gonna talk about the mysterious world of UFOs. Let's kick things off with my hometown, Dayton, Ohio. is the home of Wright-Pat. And if you don't know about Wright-Pat, man, it's really the center of this whole like phenomenon UFO thing. I know people have heard about that. That's basically where the Roswell debris went, where Hangar 18 is, Project Blue Book. We're gonna get into that. What basically where that started. And let's not forget, this is really the epicenter, man. It's really the, if you look at any movie, anything, man, they gonna talk about Wright-Pat. So first, let's get into Project Blue Book, which was a U.S. Air Force investigation that was led by Captain Edward J. Ruppert, or Ruppert, whatever his name is. And then you got the Robertson panel of 1953, which basically concluded UFOs were not really a threat to national security. I mean, technically they was right, because if you know anything about UFOs, you know that there ain't really too much that they would do to us that they wouldn't have already done. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the Roswell, which was in July 2nd, 1947, where this rancher, I think his name was like Mac Brazel, he found the debris on his property and notified the sheriff. He basically took it to him. He was like, man, this shit crashed, man. I don't know what it is. It's weird. It has like strange markings on it. It got like that looks like hieroglyphics. And then when he like would fold it, it would basically just go right back. It would go right back to what it was. It was like a metal that he basically never seen before. Also, in 1947, even the Air Force, they even put out a press release saying that it was a flying disc, but like right after they said it, they basically retracted, like, oh, we probably shouldn't have told nobody that. And then that's when they started doing like the Condon report and Project Blue Book, where they basically like denied that there was anything that even happened. But in 1997, there was another report that was released that was basically saying it was alien bodies, and people saw it. It was all type of crazy shit, man. So let's talk about Hangar 18, which is basically like this secret place where they hid the wreckage from Roswell, and they said that they had alien bodies in it. There was this dude named Barry Goldwater. He was a senator from Arizona. He was like he was a Republican senator in 1964. He also ran for president. And he was the one that basically brought up, like, I asked about Hangar 18. Goldwater, he attempted to access it. And then I guess they also called it the Blue Room, where basically that's where they said that they got the wreckage and the bodies and shit. And then he actually asked, I guess a higher general, his name was Curtis LeMay. And when he asked him, he basically got mad as hell, man. He was like, man, don't ever ask me nothing like that ever again. Like, man, what are you talking about, man? Like, you tripping.
Project Blue Book was headquartered at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, but some of the other, more secret UFO programs seem to have been located there too. One of these is the mysterious Blue Room, an underground repository of recovered technology and debris.
This is the location, allegedly, where they brought the bodies in the craft from the Roswell crash, and where all of the other crash retrievals and bodies, kind of like they have a consortium of where they keep all this. So you've got the bodies, you've got the craft, you've got the debris, autopsy reports, the 8x10 glossy white, black and white photographs, and the gun camera footage is all supposed to be kept at the Blue Room, some type of an underground vault, or Building 18 at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Senator Barry Goldwater sought confirmation of this.
At Wright-Patterson Field, if you could get into certain places, you'd find out what the Air Force and the government knows about UFOs. Reportedly, a spaceship landed, and it was all hushed up, quieted, and nobody I've never heard about much of it. I called Curtis LeMay and I said, General, I know we have a room at Wright-Patterson where you put all this secret stuff. Could I go in there? I've never heard him get mad, but he got madder than hell at me, cussed me out, said, don't ever ask me that question.
Okay, so now let's talk about bitch ass Mike Turner. Hell of a dude, man. He's the senator of Ohio. He just got voted back in, which I was trying to tell y'all, man, do not vote for this dude, man. He crooked as hell, man. He been funded by Wright-Pat. He been funded by Lockheed Martin, by Raytheon, and during the UAP disclosure, what was it, in 2023, they was signing the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act, which basically had a whole bunch of stuff about UAPs and the disclosure in it. It was a UAP Disclosure Act, pretty much. Basically, it was trying to talk about the transparency, by establishing like comprehensive collection of UAP records, also letting like airline pilots call it in, and now there's really not too much more stigma, because that's really what it was, is the airplane pilots and army jet fighters. They would see shit up there all the time, but they wouldn't want to say something, because if you say something, then now they looking at you like yo, like yeah, stop talking about that shit, man. You people would like lose their rankings, all type of crazy stuff, man. So even David Grush, who last, I think in 2023, where they had the congressional hearing, he was one of the people that basically said that there was that we got NHI, which is non-human intelligence. They like threatened his life, and he basically pointed at Mike Turner too. Like, man, he's one of the people that's blocking this shit, man.
And to their defense, every time they've asked for a special budget, whether it was from the Senate Intelligence Committee or the House Oversight, to get staffed up to really drill down on this, that money was ripped out of the budget by some bad actors in the Congress, and we know who they are. So this then puts it, unless that dynamic changes, and it might. I mean, we just had the Speaker of the House remove the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Turner, who was one of the key people who blocked the National Defense Authorization Act provisions that would have provided amnesty or safe harbor for these whistleblowers. So it could be that process is going on. I was happy to see that.
He even said in a Fox News interview that there was no evidence supporting, even though there's hella evidence, while also being funded by Lockheed Martin, man. And Lockheed is also rumored to have a craft in their possession. They have they have one, and they said that they can't move it. So they don't really want anybody to take, because Lockheed they've developed so much new technology off of reverse engineering these alien craft. They call them ARVs, which are alien reproduction vehicles, so yeah, man, fuck Mike Turner, man. That nigga, bitch ass nigga. I'm telling y'all, man, I think is it either 26 soon, in the next couple years, we'll be able to vote him out, man. But UFOs, man, they really, man, they've been around for forever, man, since like ancient times in Egypt and Mexico, and Italy, man. People have been seeing them, like even they've been writing about them. If you go to like Egypt, like the Temple of Set, which was built around like 1300 BC, which has like a helicopter, like hieroglyphics. They say these are actually like palimpses, where they say it's like newer inscriptions were covered over older ones, and resulting in images that resemble modern aircraft. Archaeologists say that, but really, rather than actual UFO depictions, but it's always an explanation, man, that they saying that this is this, but you can look at it and be like, man, look at this. Like, bro, what? So there was also in Italy, there's like rock carvings. There's like one that looks like he's in a space suit, and I think that's the one from Italy. Then you got Teotihuacan, which is in Mexico. They say that the pyramid of the sun and other structures suggest like extraterrestrial movement due to their like alignment with celestial bodies and the presence of materials like mica, which is not even from there. You gotta, just like with the pyramids, they say that the stone is actually built from someplace that's like all the way across the country, man. So it's crazy, man. So let's shift gears into the drones. Now they showing up like all over the place, and not, people say it's just in Jersey, but they've been all over the place, man, from the UK to China, all over the country. And really the real thing is, yeah, they be over neighborhoods, but they also be over nuclear sites and shutting down nuclear facilities. Like they've been by army bases in the UK, like places that you probably can't fly a real drone. If I go fly a drone right now by Wright-Pat, what do you think will happen to me? You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest incident when that happened, when they say like a UFO shut down a nuclear site, was the Echo Flight incident. And that was in March 16th, 1967 at Maelstrom Air Force Base in Montana. And that's where they house the nukes. So one of the key people was Captain Robert Salas. At the time, he was like a first lieutenant, but he was also like the deputy missile combat crew dude. At the it's basically an underground facility, And he was one of the primary witnesses that basically talked about it.
On March 16th, at Echo Flight, a missile security guard reported that a large round object had suddenly appeared in the sky and was hovering at low altitude, directly over one of the missile silos. Moments later, the entire group of 10 ICBMs mysteriously malfunctioned.
The strike team that went out, one of the two, claimed that they saw something over the site.
How did they describe that?
He just said a large round object.
Directly over the LF?
Directly over the site.
But Fiegel was not the only one to be told that a UFO was in the vicinity during the incident. But the excitement was not yet over. A second ICBM shutdown incident occurred 8 days later, on March 24th, 1967, at Oscar Flight.
I was told that a UFO caused all 10 missiles in Oscar Flight to go down.
At the Pentagon, the National Military Command Center was so alarmed by the UFO incursions at Strategic Air Command bomber and missile bases that a Security Option 3 order was issued, placing the Air Force's entire nuclear weapons force on high alert.
Well, what he said happened was around 8:30, Silas received a call from the security guard saying that, man, there's like some crazy red glowing object that's just out here just chilling. And then after that, all of they call them like the Minutemen, ICBMs, they all started to go into a no-go, or they basically didn't work. So within seconds of each other, which is, it don't ever happen. Like it don't ever happen. This shit don't happen. And then after that, like you'd be like, okay, some shit that don't ever happen, it happened. You know what I'm saying? It happened. All right. 8 days later, it happened again. Basically, this one happened at a different place. It happened at a place called Oscar Flight, which is also at Malmstrom, but it's a different, it's a different location. Where another set of the missiles, they were, I guess, affected by this UFO. And then the incident also involved Silas confirming, like, man, there's something going on here. Like these UFOs just shutting down nukes, man, and nobody had no answers for it. So there's a guy that wrote a book about it, Robert Hastings, called UFOs and Nukes, and he basically interviewed 160 veterans and Air Force personnel, to colonels, to just regular people, and they all claim to, like, yeah, they've been at these nuke sites. They've been here. And it basically goes from the 40s all the way up to today. So these things, and then you got to think too, man, like this, the military. So when it does happen, how many times you think you gonna hear that on the news? You know what I'm saying? You ain't really gonna hear too much of that on the news. Let's get into Trump, Trumpito, the orange man. He been talking about UFOs, man, for the longest, man. Even his last presidency, where he basically started the Space Force, and then this one, he said that one day after he gets in, he gonna tell us about what's going on with them drones.
The story that kind of disappeared very suddenly. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you had said that you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know. They were over Bedminster a lot. So
what happened?
I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about it?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and We house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
So yeah, he basically said that his first couple days, man, he gonna talk about them drones, man. He gonna get into them, and then also what was crazy is, man, even especially this election season when he was running, he was talking about it like real heavy, man. And even though he said he didn't really believe it, but there's pilots that he's talked to and they believe it, and he said those are like the most, commendable dudes.
First one's kind of fun. Aliens. I want to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
a little fatter.
But these are perfect people, okay, and they're not crazy, conspiratorial. They're not crazy, and they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe. These are not people that you would say, "Gee,
no way.
Oh, that's
no
okay."
Way. President of the United States.
But
I said,
who is it? That's Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay, handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
I don't know, man. Trump, man, you never know with this dude, man. You never know what you gonna get with him. Because he always man, it's just is so unpredictable. But so let's talk about when he was doing the National Defense Authorization Act. He basically included the Space Force in there. And man, let me tell you something, man. Wright-Pat's logo for Space Force is crazy looking. That shit looks nuts. Look at this. Yeah, bro, that shit crazy. And I also believe that Wright-Pat, that they also they do the uniform, so they the ones that it's crazy that Wright-Pat has the creative control over the uniforms of the Space Force and the logos and stuff. Cause I mean, we just got so much history, man, and I'll be trying to tell people that Dayton, man, is one of them places that is so unique. I know a lot of people leave from here and they go up a lot of places, but they always seem to come back, man. They really know that there's a vibe here, and people got family here, but there's just something here that brings them back all the time, man. But I think also too, when it comes to Dayton and we talking about Wright-Pat and the UFO things, I think that we see so much stuff in the sky all the time. Even though I know a lot of people here, they do talk about yeah, man, I see stuff, especially by Wright-Pat, man. They got underground cities over there, but I'll be seeing stuff, and I'm sure a lot of people do, but I think there just be so much stuff in the sky here that most people don't even know. There's probably so much shit that be up there, man, that a lot of us just disregard. It's like, oh, it's regular motherfucking day, man. You'll see a damn military cargo jet just fly over your hood, man. Like for real. So let's see. Let's also get into this guy named Stephen Greer. Okay. He's basically made it like his mission to unlock this whole like UFO and disclosure. He even has his project is called the Disclosure Project, where he brought so many like whistleblowers like astronaut Edgar Mitchell, who said that he's seen extraterrestrials, and they not just stories, man. They actually like really happened. I think Edgar Mitchell, he was on Apollo 14, and yeah, so I mean, this is all tight. I think Buzz, he said something, even though he'll punch a nigga too, man. If you come up on Buzz and you talk about, man, you ain't go to the moon, man, that nigga punch you in your face, man, for real.
I go through my measures.
Yeah. You got to keep shooting, man. Okay, well, you can put it on your shoulder. Don't be shy.
Just come with me, Buzz.
You really like attention, don't you?
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
But Stephen Greer, he has had 2 different national press clubs, where he's basically brought like the whistleblowers in front of people to tell like what they've been going through. He's had a dude named Eric Hecker, who basically said, man, that he worked at the South Pole and said that it's like an air traffic control for UFOs. And then he mentioned like, I guess, neutrino interactions, and said there's like digital optical modules buried under the ice that can basically cause like earthquakes and do all type of crazy stuff, man. Some of the stuff he said is like, man, it sounds so crazy, but it's like, bro, who can tell that though, man? Like, there's so much craziness that in our reality in the first place, man. What is impossible? You know what I'm saying? He also had a dude named Michael Herrera, who was he was a former Marine. He said that he witnessed like a man-made ARV, which is an alien reproduction vehicle, which, you know, it was just basically the government taking the technology and using it for themselves, but then saying that it is alien when it ain't. He said that it happened in Indonesia in 2009, where he observed offloading of like illegal weapons, drugs, human trafficking. He described like the craft as like this large rotating, and spoke about like encountering soldiers with American gear on, who intercepted his whole team. And some say that that's really like the deep state or the other government that has they basically have their own military, their own government funding, even though we are funding it. But it's a whole nother entity, and they not abided by no laws, man. They doing whatever the fuck they want to do, you know what I'm saying? They don't give 2 fucks about about what y'all talking about, that we gonna do whatever we want to do. but they keep it so secretive, man. And it's because everything is really about to come out, and a lot of people with the power and the money, man, them niggas might go to jail. That's what's gonna happen. But you know what I mean, there's people also talking about like we should give them immunity because it's been this secret program that they basically fell into and it ran on its own, which, you know, I mean, man, who that's a whole nother discussion, man. But really with Stephen Greer, which is crazy, is that he did a podcast like maybe a few days ago, where he was talking about in the next 72 hours there are going to be a new whistleblower with like new evidence. And then look, and the next day, now here come a new whistleblower.
And I wanted to air a little bit of that because you recently interviewed the Air Force veteran. His name is Jacob Barber. He's the whistleblower who says he was the helicopter pilot who retrieved UAPs for the government. Let's take a quick listen to what he told you and what he saw.
How long have you known this secret about unidentified anomalous phenomena being of non-human origin?
For more than 10 years. We did recover things that were exotic in nature in the sky, and we know they were classified craft. And we recovered them and took them back to where they go.
Now that is clearly technology that is certainly not known.
I got within 150 feet of this object.
We are not alone.
We are not alone.
So we're gonna see what that's talking about. We're gonna see, I guess he got a whole interview where he actually shows a video of it. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. And then Stephen Greer also said that, I guess, the Tesla Cybertruck dude that bombed Trump's hotel on the 1st, that was one of his whistleblowers too. His name was Matthew Livelsberger. He was active duty, Green Beret, Special Forces. They say that he was like stationed in Germany, but he was on leave, and he had like a whole bunch of like awards and services. He got like the Bronze Star, like crazy, man. But he sent an email to this podcaster named Sean Ryan, which he basically wrote his manifesto and was talking about like war crimes, and how there was like a cover up with airstrikes in Afghanistan in 2019 that killed a whole bunch of like innocent civilians, and I guess they tried to cover it up, but he felt so bad about it. He like, man, I gotta tell people about this. But then he also talked about that the government has these gravitic propulsion systems for drones, and he basically said that he suggested that China and the US basically have this technology, and they've been having this technology for the longest, and that China is now starting to use it, but can't know. I mean, they're so ahead of the game, because that's people don't even know that with the drones in America, that those drones here, a lot of drone pilots, they get their drones from China because there's like no restrictions. Like the DJI, they just dropped the geofencing, which basically kept you from like restricted airspace. So they just stopped that with they drones, which is crazy because all this drone stuff is going on, and now y'all want to stop the geofencing. Like what's that about? But the ones in China, man, they ain't never had geofencing. You know what I'm saying? Them they go wherever the fuck they want to go. So that's why people buy them from over there and bring them here. But also that this dude, Matthew Livelsberger, a lot of people think that he's still alive because I guess they saying that one, that he's a special operator. So he knows all about like trade craft, which is like, you know, 007 shit. He know how to kill himself and make it look like, because they said that this dude, he self, you know, himself with a Desert Eagle, but there was like no gun signature anywhere. And then he drove the Cybertruck, which basically is self-driving, and blew it up. But somehow, some way, his IDs is still in check, just like the people from 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Like, please make that make some sense, man. Like, there is really no coincidences at all out here, bruh. At all. Like, please make it make sense. So yeah, man, thank y'all for, you know, kicking it with me, man, chopping it with me. You know, we got into a little bit. It's just a little tip of the spear, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a journey. We gonna probably have some guests on. You know, we gonna chop it up about a whole bunch of different stuff, man. You know, I don't really just want to talk about like just UFOs. I think I want to talk about, you know, like technology. We can get into some hip hop, man, some music, video games. I mean, man, we can really talk about whatever we want to talk about, man. You already know how I'm coming. I know a little bit about something, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you know, I want to do a little outro with you know, with the homie. You know what I'm saying? We gonna end it off right. Yeah, man, thank y'all for chopping it with me, man. I'm glad y'all had I hope I taught y'all a little something. You know what I'm saying? I hope I gave y'all a little insight of what's going on out here. Gave y'all a little history, you know what I'm saying? A little something here and there, man. So I guess I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace. We feel like Zeus and Poseidon, and people keep on asking me if I'm thinking about signing, be a bad boy like Diddy. Even David needed the rock to defeat Goliath. Under so much pressure, the nation see me throw up a diamond.